intro is.
This week on the Steam Machine podcast, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Sometimes I feel like I'm dead inside and I'm surrounded by a bunch of fruits. Cue the music! Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Steam Machine podcast. My name is Dalton, and joining me this week is one half of the Destructo Brass.
Hey, I'm Willie, and that is not one of your all-time great cold opens.
They can't be all winners. And this week we have joining us for the foreseeable future, if he behaves, we got one Mikhailov. Sir, how you doing?
I actually thought that was a pretty darn good cold open.
Yeah, see, you can.
Oh, he's sucking up so he can stay on the show.
Win some of them.
Hey, listen. I'm on this show at the expense of my own personal sleep, so...
That's true. We appreciate you, sir.
You fire me, I just go to bed.
In a bed of ashes. Volt ihr das Bett in Flammen sehen.
You're fired. Out of a cannon into the sun.
You fired.
That's a Futurama reference, by the way.
Yeah, we know. We know Futurama.
Kiff, alert the men. I've made it with a woman.
Yes, sir.
How are you boys doing? Mikhailov, what you been up to, buddy? How you doing?
Oh, I've been up to a lot, actually. So, I guess it's getting close to Christmas time, so a lot of the Chinese companies are deciding they're going to release their handhelds. All now. All at this moment.
Ooh. Oh, it's your early Christmas.
Yeah, so, well, I don't want to sound like DJ Khaled suffering from success, but wait a minute. Is that a correct music reference? Because you know how I am with music references.
DJ Khaled! That's all I know about him.
Another one.
Okay.
Another one. That's him.
Damn, where'd you find this one?
Well, hopefully I got that reference right.
We don't know. We're old.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, stop being old. Oh.
Okay. Cool trick.
Yeah, right? I wish I could do that. So, I've recently been getting handhelds from Ambernick for review. And so they've just kind of been sending them to me, which is, great, wonderful. Send them to me. But they keep churning them out. So that means every time one gets churned out, I gotta dish out a video. Usually I have to dish that video out before the thing actually goes on sale. And so I have had quite a few sleepless nights just trying to get stuff together just so I can do that. So yeah, it's been kind of odd. I almost feel like just like an android just pumping the stuff out. So I decided to take a break, and I've been just taking a couple of days to actually play and enjoy video games, one of them being Dungeon Munchies. But my son turned me on, my 4-year-old son turned me on to a video game, and he wasn't actually playing the game. He was watching YouTube videos of other people playing it. And so that kind of caught my attention right away, because he was like, Daddy, look. And I looked and I'm like, this is a game with some great music, but it seems really hard and it's moving really fast. So obviously I take a minute and I look at his iPad and I look at the title and it's like, oh, Geometry Dash. Interesting. And he's like, Daddy, can I try it? And I'm like, well, let me see. So his iPad is locked down. Everything's got to be approved by me. And whenever he opens up an app, he can't close it or touch it without me. We are very good at hawking that thing because it's already becoming a problem and that's all he wants to do. So I find that the app is actually available on iPads. And so I pay the $3. I download it. He starts playing it. He's terrible at it. He's dying instantly. And so finally, he's like, Daddy, can you try? And I'm like, okay. I'm freaking hooked. It's hard as fucking shit. I've only beaten the first level, and I'm only halfway through the second level, and I keep dying, and I keep wanting to play it, and it's ridiculous, and I don't know what's wrong with me.
I think it might be a different style of game, obviously, because it's not geometry, but a game similar. I think it was called Bit Runner, where you played there was a black oblong looking thing with arms and legs that you was just an endless runner that you would jump. And
if you hit something, you would just die.
Yeah.
And have to start over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
That's exactly what it is. The soundtrack is banging, though. Like, more or less the reason that I want to get through a level is so I can hear the whole song.
Isn't it weird that games with shapes be like that? Because Geometry Wars, I have Geometry Wars 1 and Geometry Wars 3, which the third one adds dimensions to it, which is a really...
Yes.
I would love to play that for the show. Even though there's not a lot to talk about, there's a lot to talk about as far as like just the fun that you can have with that game and try to beat your friends' high scores. It's one of those games.
We did Ubermosh for the show, so I could see this working.
Yeah, and we got a whole episode of Ubermosh. But the music is banging. Just good like EDM, just make you bump your head. Just,
that's what this is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is. It's just really entertaining, upbeat. Like, if it weren't in a video game, you could pull it up on a YouTube and just listen to it. It's just good. But it's also good when you're, like, in the level. Because you're literally, when you're jumping to the rhythm. So, like, you're, I guess, in a sense, playing the music, if that makes any type of sense. It actually gives me a lot of high hopes for my son because he's starting to really, really enjoy music. Like he enjoys like the sound of it. He'll dance to it. He'll like want to play on toy musical instruments and all that, even though that tends to be annoying. But I would love it if this kid grew up to be musically inclined.
It's a blessing and a curse.
I don't know if I agree. Why do you say that?
Why do I say that being musically inclined is a blessing and a curse?
Yeah. That kind of threw me off. Sorry.
Because it's a blessing because, you can play guitar and it's all cool and all that kind of stuff. But the curse is there's always someone better than you and you will always compare yourself to them. Always.
You know, when I played drums, that's exactly how I felt. I always felt that I could never play good enough.
Yeah. Like me, like you guys have heard me like fool around on guitar and stuff. Like I'm not fantastic, but I'm not bad. But like I can, hold my own. And then I go and I listen to like Jeff Loomis, or I put on, Andy James, or fucking Megadeth or something like that. And I just hear him fucking Chris Broderick just ripping a goddamn solo. And I'm just like, well, what do I even try? Why do I even try?
And it hurts even more because you know how he did it.
Yeah, practice.
You just can't physically replicate it yourself.
It's like, how did John 5 get as good as he is? Oh, he practices guitar 4 hours a day every day.
Oh, God, like, any type of drummer that can manipulate 2 bass drums as well as, like, more freaking cymbals and drums than I've ever seen in my lifetime, and have each one have a better sound than the other. I'm with you.
I could show you some drum shit that would blow your fucking mind, bro. There was a guy, I don't remember his name, but Korn brought him in to play drums for them for their Untitled album. And his drum set is like 236 pieces or something like that.
Jesus Christ.
And he's got drums that are tuned to keys. So there's a part in the song I Will Protect You where the guitar goes din-na-nan, 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 din-na-nan. And he's doing the same thing on the drums in the same key. Do-do-do, 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 do-do-do.
And it's just in sync.
Yeah. And it sounds super cool. I'll have to find a picture of this drum set and show it to you. Like after we're recording, I'll post it in the show chat or something because it is fucking insane. You look at it and you're like, I don't even know how you could play that with just 2 arms and not be Animal from the Muppets.
My drum set had 6 pieces.
Yeah, my drum set was pretty small. I had a double bass pedal. That was about it.
I didn't even have that. I had single bass pedal, hi-hat, snare, crash, 3 toms, and a snare. Because I had the floor tom, and then I had the 2 that were up top. It was an absolutely basic bitch drum set, but it was what I had.
Yeah, I almost regret selling mine, because I would record my own drums if I did. Now I got to figure out how to do it, computer-wise. But
I don't regret selling mine, because I don't know where I would put it. I had literally no room.
That's another thing, yeah. We used to have mine set up in a living room, and that wouldn't fly anymore.
Yeah, mine was at my parents' house, and it would still be there if I didn't sell it.
So what else have you been up to, man?
Geometry Dash, handhelds, kid. I think I'm good.
Fair enough. What about you, Will?
Well, I feel like we've just talked because we've been doing so many recordings lately, so it is a little bit hard for me to tell exactly what's new since last time. I know last time I talked a lot about developing that like Marble Madness style game in Godot and all that. Playing Euro Truck Simulator more and more. On that game I finally got around to I took out a big old loan and expanded my garage, and now I have other drivers working for me, so that's exciting.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to ask you about, is if you didn't bring it up. I was going to be like, didn't you do something major in Euro Truck Simulator? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was about a 400,000 euro loan, and I only have about 175,000 in my bank now, so it'll be a while before I get it paid off. But I hired 2 drivers, 2 new trucks. They're very beginner drivers, so I've got them just kind of running all over basically Scotland, trying to improve their I want them to improve their long-distance driving stats so they'll have more jobs that they can choose from. But right now they're just set to basically... They don't really make any money yet. They're kind of breaking even at best, but that's fine because they're under training.
They're gaining experience.
They don't ask for too much money. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you are already further than me because I have not gotten to the point where I have other drivers yet. I'm still doing my own thing, so...
I just really felt like expanding. So I had to take out the 400,000 euro loan, which is like the biggest one the game offers you. And I bought him used trucks too, so I hope everything turns out okay for these little guys.
Oh, I'm sure it will, man. I'm sure it will. What'd you name your company?
I can't remember. Okay. The European company is called Eaton Asphalt.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Mine's Mother Truckers.
I was expecting Ice Brand something, but I like that too.
I love that we're both going with just fucked up my Mother Trucker Incorporated.
Nice. I think my American one is called... Oh, shit. My dude is called... The company's called Big Montana Freighting in the American one, and the main guy is named RB Curly Fries.
Okay. It sounds like a really beefy character.
He has the meats.
That's tremendous.
Yeah. So I have a question for you, Willie.
Yeah.
So you've been working a lot in Godot, right?
Yes.
So when you went to download that program, how was the download speed?
It is an incredibly quick program. Like, it is a tiny, tiny file that takes almost no time to download.
So you didn't find yourself waiting for Godot?
Truncate Silence is going to make it sound like you got away with one. But we just sat there and looked at you. I'm pretty sure that this is like the 3rd or 4th time someone's tried to run that one on me.
Yeah, but you were totally into it until I dropped the joke.
No, I think it downloads so quickly because it's a .gal file.
No, you're doing the other joke. You guys need a 3rd joke.
No, we like our 2 jokes. No soup for you.
Come back 1 year.
Come back 1 year.
Ugh.
Well, fair enough.
How about you, Dolan? What's going on?
Wait, I don't even know if I still had other things to say.
No.
You just ran me off the road with a stupid ass joke. You're like, well, he's done.
Well, I didn't do it with a tractor trailer, at least.
Parenting with a train. All right. What else was it? Oh yeah. I also it's just started today, but I started playing this game, The Planet Crafter, which is a game about like
Crafting planet?
terraforming a planet and stuff. What?
It's a crafting planet.
Thanks, Dalton. You're doing great. Crafting planet. With your powers combined, I am crafting planet.
Ah, yeah, baby. That's what I'll talk about.
But it's a terraforming game.
He's
I
waiting
just love
for
the idea
Godot.
of What? Come on! You weren't even set up for this one.
Go on, continue. I'm sorry.
That was less that someone alley-ooped the basketball for you, and more like you pulled a basketball out of your backpack and then threw it at the hoop and said, "I did it!"
Shaq's like,
And I
it was
missed.
Koba's fault.
There wasn't we weren't even in the gym. We were in your classroom.
It broke the
Just threw it
window.
at the
Gym class
whiteboard.
heroes.
Oh, don't do that. That's a smart TV. Don't,
Yeah, well,
don't
it was
crack
a
the
smart
screen.
TV.
Don't crack the screen. I need that to live.
Now it's a beautiful fractal. So, let's see. So basically, it's like a terraforming game, and I just really love the idea of terraforming. Like, it makes me really happy to think about. And like when I play other games, I try to do terraforming type stuff in it too. So finally, getting to play a game where my main goal is to take this barren, deserted planet with just some wreckage on it from other attempts to colonize it and try to make a planet of it is really cool. Like, I'm still very early on in it, but I've got to the point where we have a blue sky with clouds, and now we're working on trying to make it rain.
Nice. I think you just need stacks of $1 bills and do this.
Yeah.
I'm also, if you like terraforming and stuff, I'm interested when we end up getting to Jurassic World Evolution, how you end up terraforming in your park and how you end up, doing different landscapes for different dinosaurs and stuff. I think that'll be really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely stoked to play more like park building games because I did have a great time with Planet Coaster.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't remember if me and Ryan did Planet Zoo, but if not, that ought to come up at some point too.
Planet Coaster is a beautiful looking game too. I looked it up after you guys did that episode, and I never actually ended up pulling the trigger and buying it. But man, beautiful looking game.
You should look up Planet Zoo. It came out after, made by the same people, and the animals in it just look really, really good.
Wow.
And if you just want to see someone screw around in those games for a bit and just make ridiculous things and mostly hazards, there's a YouTube channel called Let's Game It Out that does some pretty funny videos on both of them.
Is that game VR compatible?
I have no idea. I don't look into that.
Not that I know of.
This would be kind of badass for me to be able to like...
Oh, a VR roller coaster?
Put on
that's
the MetaQuest and just like ride my own coaster.
Now
that is dope. I know there is a first-person mode at least. So.
There is a game that's a VR game that's just, I think it's called like Thrill of the Ride or something like that, and it's all about riding coasters.
Yeah, just not ones you make yourself.
No. Well, actually, I don't know. I haven't looked into it because it just does not seem like something that's going to make me not throw up. So...
But then I also think that would be kind of cool. Like, you know how we have the pinball collections where you can download and play like a bunch of old pinball games like Pinball FX or Pinball Arcade or Zen Pinball and all that stuff. Imagine that, but roller coasters. They were like real world roller coasters that maybe like shut down or like aren't available anymore, but you could still like put on this VR headset and ride them.
There might be...
It would be sweet.
360 YouTube videos of people riding roller coasters.
Okay.
There are definitely just regular first-person playthroughs all over YouTube. I've definitely watched a few of those just for nostalgia's sake.
Yeah, but like... I don't know if you've ever actually put on your VR and like went and explored YouTube and looked through like YouTube 360 videos. There's some really cool shit. Like there's one where you can ride a weather balloon up until you were just leaving the atmosphere.
Wow.
It's fucking cool.
Do you see the curvature of the Earth and stuff?
Yeah, it's fucking cool, man.
That's so sick.
Like eventually, it's just like here's where the camera died.
Yeah, the most I've done with 360 videos has been like looking up like waterfalls or like meditation scenes.
Dude, the drone footage
like,
of waterfalls and shit are so cool.
Yeah.
There's one...
It has to get to a point where like it's got to be sickening or like jarring because your brain is literally being tricked into thinking that you're there.
That's possible. Oh yeah, we're in general chat still doing the podcast recording. That's why.
Well, we were recording in the wrong channel. Nathan just ticked in for a moment and realized we're recording.
Oops.
Well, we love you, Nate. There's one video that I watched that was a 360 video. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life that I can only recommend to everyone, right? And it is a 360 video where you are in a Chinese panda zoo. And you are like in the panda exhibits. And you can just look around and watch all the little pandas and stuff doing their thing. There's a little section of the video that's baby pandas. It's tremendous. And then there's also like the 360 where they'll set up 360 cameras out in like the Sahara. And you'll just be chilling for like 2 minutes. There's nothing really happening. And all of a sudden you see a lion in the distance. And that motherfucker comes right up to the camera and starts looking at it. And you're just like, you know you're safe. Like part of you knows you're safe because you're at home. But when you are staring at a lion in VR in the eyes, and it's not a CG, it's a real lion, there is a part of your brain that is still like,
what the fuck?
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's a big animal. You know?
I could put my head in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was actually not trying to be dirty.
Did my brain go right back to like some video from the early internet days that used to go around?
Nope.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
God. We won't go there. So what have I been up to? Or Willie, did you have more? I don't want to cut you off.
I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Just getting excited to do more coding and stuff. And I think one thing I also want to do is start making a bunch of like miniature games and doing them both in GDScript and C# to kind of compare and see which one I like better. But so I can also put the C# versions on my GitHub and then like finally start using my GitHub again because I want to start looking for a coding job.
Hell yeah, man. I say go for it, dude. Make some good money.
Yeah, thank you. I would like the dollar.
Yes, sir. So I've been playing some Dungeon Munchies. I have been playing Final Fantasy XI. So quick Final Fantasy XI story. So when you, in the original games and still to this day, when you hit level 66, you can unlock a quest from a character named Matt. And he gives you the quest to go and get a testimony for your said job. How to get this testimony depends on what job it is. Most of them like just drop from goblins that you have to kill. Well, I was leveling thief, and to get a thief testimony, you have to steal it from a goblin. Here's the thing about Final Fantasy XI, and I'm sure you guys have heard me mention this before. It's better about it now, but in its incarnate, that game did not respect your time. It said fuck you to your free time, right? So you have to steal a thief testimony. It is ridiculously hard to steal because stealing is a low chance already unless you have gear that puts pluses to your steal, which I don't have. And it's a 5-minute cooldown on the steal.
Oh.
What?
And they haven't patched that?
No.
Jeez.
So in the midst of, stealing every 5 minutes while I'm just killing stuff, getting, little bits of experience, I got a warrior testimony, a white mage testimony, and a beastmaster testimony, because those just dropped from kills. So what did I do? I went back to my Mog house, and I changed over to my level 18 warrior, and I took that motherfucker to level 70. And I went and did the beast. Went and turned in his testimony, did the quest, bada bing, bada boom, and got past it. I was like, I'm not, because I was reading through Reddit, and there are people like, I've stolen 1,000 times, and I still don't have the thief testimony. I'm sure they were exaggerating a little bit, but still, I'm like, no, I don't want to be that. I don't want to. No, I'll just take the time to level warrior. So now I'm working on unlocking other jobs, which is funny because I have a character on. I have Savage Gaka, who's on Quetzalcoatl. He already has all this shit done. I made this other character because I was going to take screenshots to prove to Mikhailov that people do still play this game, because when I sent the screenshot and he's like, it's empty, there's no one.
Yeah, that really stuck with you.
I'm like, well, this is yeah, because A, I don't mind that it's empty because I play the game pretty much solo anyways. But B, it was just like, yeah, this really is kind of a dead server. I wonder what the more populated servers look like these days. And it's a lot more people on Bahamut. So I've just been redoing stuff on there, playing as a human instead of a Gawka, just getting a new view on things. But I've been really enjoying my time with it. It's a good nostalgia romp. I realized that that's the game that started my love for that weird grayish skybox that just looks depressingly beautiful. Probably why I like those days too. Like when I walk outside and the sky is just fucking gray and it's like cool to cold outside, I'm like, this is perfect weather. And everyone's like, this is depressing weather. I'm like, exactly. It's fucking wonderful, isn't it?
See, I actually prefer cool weather to warm weather myself, but I like to.
I'm definitely an autumn
bit of
guy.
color in the sky.
No.
I like a color on my trees.
Yeah.
But then there's also something to be said for it's a beautiful day and you're stuck at work.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be my neighbor?
Actually, I don't know. Maybe I'm just brutal, but on days like that, I'll open up all the shades of my classroom and let the sun just roll in so that the kids can just look out the window and sigh in sadness and depression.
Like a real teacher.
Yeah. Be like, oh, yep. Beautiful day out there. You're here with me.
So I've also been fucking around a little bit more with Diablo 4. Just messing with, because like when I got the expansion, it gave me a free battle pass for the season or whatever it is. So I've been trying to take advantage of that and get some of the stuff, since I'm like, I got it I won't say for free because I technically paid for it with getting the DLC, but I got it. So I might as well take advantage of it.
Might as well level up and get the loot.
Yeah. So I've been doing that off and on too. But I am like itching, and I'm warning you both, I am itching to play a CRPG. And I mean CRPG, I mean like Pathfinder, Kingmaker, Divinity, just like an RPG design, like point and click Baldur's Gate style. I'm itching for it. I don't know what I'm going to end up throwing if I do pick one of those, because I've got a few choices in my head for the next.
I do feel like Kingmaker's one you've always been considering, but then you're like, this is a 90-hour game or so.
Yeah, Kingmaker's long as shit.
Isn't Baldur's Gate 3 a CRPG?
Baldur's Gate 3 is a CRPG, and Baldur's Gate 3 is also long as shit. Yeah.
This is true.
That's the thing.
That game is definitely... People are still talking about that one. It's been a few months. So
I
pretty
bought
hype,
it
apparently.
and have not started it because I know it's a slog and I know I'm not going to have time for it.
The thing is, most
Apparently it's pretty hype.
CRPGs are pretty fucking long. There are some that are better than others. Like Tyranny, that was done by BioWare, I think it was. That one's pretty short and sweet. I think it's like 17 hours or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, there's just a bunch of them that don't like Pillars of Eternity. Pillars of Eternity, man. That's the one that I've been, playing a little bit. And, God, it's just so fucking good. And I thought about Nate. When I was making my character, I was looking at the human, and I'm like, I want to take the human, and I'm going to do his traits. And I thought of Nate in my head. When I play fantasy games, I'm a human. So why would I be a human? Also, dinosaur DNA. That's how Nate talks now, in my head. I haven't heard him in so long.
Dino DNA.
But yeah, so I was like, you know what? And I picked a race that wasn't human, and I was proud of myself. Because normally I go for the put yourself in the shoes. So it's like if I'm playing a human, then it's more, I can resonate it with a little more. But now I'm like, nah, man, I'm gonna be this wild race, and I'm gonna pick barbarian. Fuck it, making a Nate character. I did pick the big beefy race, though, I will say. Though there are some smaller races that Willie, there's a race in particular that I bet would be the one that you would pick if you went.
Oh, is it like a little gnomey guy? Or
It's
something?
kind of like a gnome, but they also look like they're like made of tree, like they're like little weird gnome thing. I don't know how to describe them. I'll just take a screenshot of it next time I'm playing.
Okay, sounds
Some
cool.
races are about the size of one Coke can, and some races are about the size of two. Nobody knows
I want
what
my
I'm talking
character to
about
be-
except for Dalton and Willie, but Dalton is broken
And-
right now.
And the people that listen to the Patreon, I'll make my character 3 apples high.
Oh my goodness. I did load up Euro Truck Simulator the other night, and Euro Truck Simulator 2 to be specific, the game that Willie is also playing, and I made a new character because I was going to start over because my old character, I cheated on it, and I was like, I'm going to play a game without cheating and see how far I can get on it, and I made the character, and by the time I was done, I laid down in my bed and went to sleep because I was tired. So, maybe tonight after recording.
So how far did you get exactly?
I made it to choose where I wanted to start.
Okay, so you still haven't even done a quick jobs yet.
No. Oh, no, I take that back. I did that first one.
Okay.
That first where you drive across the little town. Like.
Oh, right.
But where did you, quickly, where did you choose to start?
My company is based in Glasgow, Scotland.
Scotland, okay. I started in Madrid, Spain.
I don't even have Iberia, so...
Oh, okay,
That
so
choice
that's a
wasn't
DLC
available
then.
for me.
Okay. I will, see, I'm not sure
Yeah,
what's
Spain
DLC.
Spain and Portugal was a DLC
Gotcha, okay.
called the Iberian Peninsula DLC.
I know there's one DLC that's out that I want to get. I just don't have the extra cash for it right now. Is that I think it's the Western Baltics or something like that.
Balkans,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that I'm like, I want that. And then they think
Yeah, I want Iberia and Scandinavia a whole lot. If I do end up getting any, those would be the first two I pick up.
I know. I think they were pretty close to being done with the Russia one, and then the Russia war started and stuff, and they kind of like pulled the brakes on that one.
Yeah.
Understandably so, though. I mean, there's
Yeah,
issues.
but it's,
Yeah.
just one of the many fallouts that have come from that altercation.
As the issues go, maybe the issues that it places on a Euro Truck Simulator aren't one of the bigger ones.
No, but it is still
Yeah.
one of the many things.
the other one that's to be announced or not. To be announced release date is they're working on Greece.
Oh, hell yeah.
That should be fun. It's I enjoy these truck simulator games. I really do.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I still do think that the American Truck Simulator one it feels a little bit more in depth per square mile, basically. But I really like the Europe one as well.
You're playing 2, right?
Yes. 2 is the main one that's still under DLC development. Euro Truck Simulator 2, and American Truck Simulator is on the first installment still.
And
Okay.
I also have Euro Truck Simulator 1. And it's charming because it came out, back in it's a little more retro. But it's just funny to me when you install Euro Truck Simulator, with the DLC that I have, it's like 20 something, 30 something gigs. Euro Truck Simulator 1, I think it's about 500 megabytes. How far graphics have come.
Wow.
But there's something in this.
It's actually not even a video game. You're just driving around and a little thing on the screen says Spain.
I don't know. It just reminds me of like the games that I would play little shareware versions of back in the day. Like my dad, we used to have this. I don't know where I got it from, dude, but it was this monster truck game. And I wish I knew the name of it because I would find it and I would play it again now because it was just like a monster truck and it dropped you into this big sandbox area where you could just drive around and ramp stuff. And it was like a big desert-ish area with like some tram rails and stuff like that. And it was just cool. It was very simplistic, but it was fun. Old Windows game. Oh, yeah, okay. One last thing. I've gotten a program that I've been fucking with because I saw a shout out to Matt, Dr. Matt Barton and Matt Chat.
Oh yeah, Matt Chat.
I saw that on his Patreon. He recommended us to his patrons. So highly appreciate that because he only
Very nice.
I think he
of him.
only
Oh, nice.
at least when I last looked, he only recommended us, Metal Jesus, and Lazy Game Reviews. So I think that's pretty good company to be.
Hell of a good company to
That
keep.
is a big win for Steam Machine. Congrats.
Yeah.
So he had an interview with this guy, and I only know him as Exo because that's what he goes by, is Exo from the program Exodos. So I downloaded this. So basically, you know how RetroArch has where like you can download cores and then you can download the ROMs and then it kind of does everything else behind the scenes for you. Exodos is very much like that, but with DOS games. Like it has pre-configured DOS box.
Oh, that's cool.
It's got 7,000 games or so right now.
Damn.
And more counting. So like when I downloaded it is a massive thing. They have a light version. I don't know what the light version is on the site, but I got the full size version. It was like 656 gigabytes. And then I got the media add-on. So here's the coolest thing. And I might want to either make a section or we can do like little bonus episodes about some of this stuff. The media section was another 186 gigs, but it is digital scans of almost every PC gamer, PC magazine, all of those old 90s PC gaming magazines. They are digital scans of all of them. Like,
this is that DOS thing that you've been messing with?
Yes, thank you for listening to the last 5 minutes, Mikhailov. I'm just kidding.
I know you mentioned it, but it didn't register
No. Yeah, this is the Exodos thing. Yeah. It's a side thing on there, and I mean they've got it down to they have ISOs of the old demo discs that would come with the magazines that had like
that's really cool.
The coconut monkey and all those little things. Like they have those, and
that's so familiar.
For games that have copyright protection, they have it where you can just get past it, or they have a thing where it pulls up a digital version of one of those things that you used to spin to like make you get the right code. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the little copyright protection feelies that a lot of the what was that company called? The Infocom company used a lot of them. Infocom, I think Sierra had some similar ones too.
So they have like a little way that emulates that if you still want to do that too. They also have like where people will say, okay, so there's a better version of this game, whatever. So they'll have that, but you can right click it and choose between like the original version or this version that someone updated that made it, whatever. And then there's like all kinds of shit that I had never even heard of. Shit, I thought I had it pulled up. Hold on. Un momento, por favor.
Now, this DOS thingy, while you're pulling that up, does it have like those dumb collections like you would find at like Staples? The like 100 game collections where you have like 90 different versions of Bejeweled and like maybe 3 other games.
That's so nostalgic. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm not sure.
I definitely know that they, at least at one point, they had those on archive.org because I definitely downloaded one that I grew up with called Game Empire. It was 250 games, shareware games for DOS.
While this is loading, so shout out to my friend Morgan, who was hitting me up about ROMs and stuff. She was like, I want to do it, but I don't trust the internet. Can you help me? I trust you. Yeah, sure. So like I pointed her in the direction of Retrogue. I'm like, that's going to be the easiest thing for you because it's got almost all the emulators. Because she's looking for like Nintendo 64, DS, Game Boy. I'm like, Retroarch's got you covered with all of that.
If she's doing it on a PC, then Retroarch 100%.
Yeah, and I told her too. I was like, it even has a Steam release, though. I still recommend the standalone. But
yeah, because I will download this. I know I keep cutting you off. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I will. This is my wheelhouse. I will download the Steam release if I just want it really quickly on a computer, and it doesn't have half of the cores that I need.
Yeah, that's my thing too. Is that some of the cores are missing from the Steam version, but understandably so, because if you remember, Steam was gonna let Dolphin emulator get released, and Nintendo put a fucking kibosh on that shit with the quickness.
Well, Nintendo puts a kibosh on a lot of things these days.
But
hey, they got an alarm clock coming out.
I bring it up because I was going to point her in the direction of like places to get ROMs. And then I was like, actually, you know what? I said, I need to get some ROMs back anyway, because I used to have a bunch and I deleted a bunch of them. I was like, so I'll just get the ROMs that you want for the systems that you want. I said, I'll get the US collections. I'll zip them, put them in my G drive, send them to you, yada, yada, yada. Fucking Internet Archive's down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what the shit? When did this happen?
I think it's back up now.
No, it's not.
But it happened a few days ago. I thought it was.
It's like partially up, but only a couple of the systems.
I was gonna say, unless it came back up today, because like all of my
today.
I was like, you got to be shitting me. And Dane says like, oh yeah, they got attacked like a week or two ago, and it was pretty fucking bad. So they just shut their shit down.
It was brutal.
And I'll let Dane hear this, and then he can bring up his conspiracy theory that he had on Media Dump about what he thinks might be the real cause behind that, because he knows more information about it. Not because I think it's going to fuck up the show. I don't care. I would say whatever to get the government after me. I could give a damn. But, I have the X-Files I want to believe. So, you know how I feel about the government. No, I could give a shit. But Dane knows more about it than me. But yeah, man. So I was just like, oh, okay.
It is back up, by the way.
Luckily, I know of another place.
That's awesome.
I know of another place that has ROMs. And they have the entire collections. So I found a program for those of you who ever run into this. called JDownloader. Okay, so what JDownloader is a program that you run, and then you input a link into the section where it tells you to add a link, right? And it will pull up all of the available downloads links on that page, which you can then toggle and download, and it'll put them in a queue and download. Instead of you having to go through and click each one, it automates it for you.
That's cool.
Dude, the thing that took me was zipping the whole thing and uploading it to G Drive. Like downloading all of those things, like Nintendo 64 literally downloaded within like a minute and a half. All of the US games. It was ridiculous. So that was really cool. I'm glad that there's still like a backup way to do it. So anyway, long story short, I'm not going to delete my ROMs anymore because if Internet Archive goes away and then other sources of ROMs goes away, then that sucks.
Yeah, Nintendo's on the warpath taking down anything first party. Like, I'm not even using first party Nintendo in my videos anymore because one of the big YouTubers in the retro handheld scene got 2 copyright strikes.
It's ridiculous.
And,
For emulating a Nintendo game?
yeah, for doing a video emulating a Nintendo game. And we thought we were safe because, like, it's all dead systems. Like, stuff that they don't care about anymore. But no, Nintendo's out for blood. They're protecting their IP, so I don't...
It's very brave of you to show us that you could play Super Mario 3 on your new Ambernic then.
Yeah, so no, but that's the thing. Like, when I did my video on the new Ambernic, I just did all third-party games. No first-party Nintendo IP. I just stayed away from it completely.
But you could always run a bunch of homebrew stuff and show people Battle Kit or whatever.
I did show some Pico 8. Mostly a Suica watermelon game that, like, I sat and played for way longer than I should have.
Yeah, we talked about that one a little before recording, and it sounded like a lot of fun. I'm gonna have to check that out on next time I'm in the store.
I'll send you the PNG.
You know what system?
I'm sure I can find it on Splore. It's no big deal.
That too. I'll just look up watermelon game. You'll find it.
Yeah.
I wish I spoke Japanese because a system that I always thought was interesting, but I don't think there's many, if any, fan translations of games for it, is the Wonder Swan.
Yeah.
The Wonder Swan did have a U.S. release. I knew someone... No,
Wonder Swan...
I'm thinking of Neo Geo Pocket. Thinking of Neo Geo Pocket.
Wonder Swan was Japan only. And
yeah, you're right.
They did have some darn good games for it. Just, yeah.
It was like one of the first ones that had a really good remake of the original Final Fantasy game,
correct.
Right?
Beautiful remake of it.
Yeah. That was one of the...
Like, the subsequent remakes were based on that, for the most part.
Exactly.
So I did get Exodus pulled up. And I specifically clicked on the first-person shooter section. All right? So there was a lot of things on here that I didn't realize existed. Now, there's some that I did, right? So there's Doom.
Blackstone! Blood!
So there's the original Doom. There's Doom 2, Hell on Earth.
Of course.
Then there's one called Doom 4.
That is probably not the real thing, unless
No. It says the mod led by Doom World Forum user Noiser was in the works for nearly 2 years, built with the design restrictions of the original Doom 2.
Interesting. Oh, was it one of the ones where they made the Doom 4 levels as much as they could in Doom 2?
That's a possibility. Doom 4 Vanilla feels like a whole new game with combination of new and old.
Yeah, Doom 4 Vanilla.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That was like a level one, and then there was one called D4T or D4D, Doom Foretold, that like tried to make the Doom 4 weapons in Doom 2.
So they also have this thing called Doom ExoWad, which is a custom launcher for the top 100 Doom WADs and total conversions according to Doom World, and the top 10 shittiest Doom WADs according to FanVote, and a collection of bonus WADs that was released with commercial games.
Nice.
So I didn't.
So there's a wad of games.
Just a big old wad of games.
It's a big old wad.
The launcher will automatically load the proper version of Doom, apply any mods necessary, and launch the game. Multiplayer is also available on many of the maps via Doom-matic. So I think that's pretty cool. But here's the thing: there's also one called Doom Slidge.
Slidge is it's a program that automatically generates Doom maps.
Oh, okay. So like a roguelike almost.
Yeah. I mean, they're usually not considered very high quality maps, but yeah, it kind of uses like roguelike style generation to make its own like maps out of components.
Will, you probably already know this answer. Mikhailov. Slidge, SLIGE, is an acronym. Can you guess what it stands for?
No, not even a little.
You would never get it anyway. So it stands for Space Llama Interment Gazelle Expert. Yeah.
So it's another Super Noah's Ark 3D?
No. But so
I think it is.
Here comes the ones that I didn't really realize existed, okay? So we got Duke Assault. Contains 1,500 levels for Duke Nukem 3D.
Oh, so that was kind of like the D-Zone for Doom, huh? Where it was like a CD-ROM that someone put out that had like a ton of stuff they downloaded and sold it.
Yeah, just it says over 1,500 levels. So the next one, Duke Caribbean, Life's a Beach.
Yeah, that's an actual official expansion.
Duke It Out in DC.
That also, I believe, is official.
Duke It's 0 Hour, which is an unreleased.
I think Zero. What were we going to say?
It just says unreleased next. It just says it was unreleased.
Okay, cool.
Then the original Duke Nukem 3D, Duke Nukem 3D Atomic Edition, Duke Nukem's Penthouse Paradise.
Not familiar.
So Duke Nukem's Penthouse Paradise is an official add-on. Jesus Christ, for Duke Nukem 3D, available exclusively from GT Interactive and Penthouse Magazine. Taking place between Duke Nukem 3D and the Plutonium Pack, aliens interrupt Duke's vacation and a couple of Penthouse photo shoots. Duke has to fight his way through a hotel, clubs, and finally the Penthouse offices. So it adds naked ladies, basically what it does.
Excellent.
I mean, Duke
well,
Nukem
there
had
already
those
were some
anyways.
Yeah.
The next one, Duke Screw 'em 3D. Oh, excuse me. Duke Screw 'em 38D. And it's basically your guns are penises, and you run around and you pimp slap things. Dominatrix aliens. Then there's Duke Nuclear Winter, Duke Zone 2.
Duke Zone. Okay, that's by WizardWorks. That's the same thing as I was saying with D Zone for Doom, where someone just literally this company WizardWorks just downloaded without any idea of which ones were any good. They just downloaded 1,000 maps off of the BBS and just put them on a CD and sold them.
That's amazing. Here's one, H Zone for Heretic and Hexen.
H Zone's Heretic and Hexen, yeah.
And then Heretic, Hexen, Hexen 2, Heretic 2. There's a lot of stuff on here, dude, and stuff that I've never. Moon Blaster.
I don't even know
Magic
what that is.
Carpet Plus, Nerves of Steel, Power Slave.
Oh, Magic Carpet.
Oh, Power Slave is an interesting one, actually. The PC version and the Saturn game are two entirely different games.
Really?
And apparently the Saturn one is really dope, and it recently got some kind of backport to PC, I think. I think the Night Dive people were involved in that.
They got Redneck Rampage.
I'd love to see
Rampage,
if this thing had a copy of Insane Aquarium on it.
What's it called?
Insane Aquarium.
What is Insane Aquarium?
It's
No.
It's a fish tank raising game where you start off with some fish, you buy some food to feed it, they eat the food, they grow bigger, and then I would say about 2 minutes into like the calm, chill feeding of fish, you get a warning and sirens go off and a shark goes into the tank and you have to whip out a gun and kill the shark.
So that sounds like a Windows game, not a DOS game.
I think it is a Windows game because I think I remember playing it in a window.
So I had the thought, because I love a lot of early Windows games, that I hope somebody one day puts together a program like this, but does it for old Windows games. Now that is going to be like terabytes big.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure.
Be cool.
I'm sure.
But how else are we going to play Chip's Challenge, darn it?
Right? I know Chex Quest, like 1, 2, and 3 are all on this.
Oh, really?
And then I thought about you, Willie, because there are exactly 54 pinball games.
I'm going to guess that includes Silver Ball. Let's see, what are some
Star
other
Trek
ones?
Pinball?
Star Trek Pinball, okay.
Starball?
I don't think I'm going to know most of these, honestly. I know Silver Ball because that was by Epic Mega Games back before they were the Fortnite people.
Quick side note, Insane Aquarium Deluxe is $4.99 on Steam.
Oh, well, there you go.
How about that? It's still around.
Yeah.
Get it, and we'll play it for the show.
Yeah, why not?
Thomas?
I mean, there's not much to talk about with it, but... Oh, wait, it's not sharks. It's aliens. You have to shoot the aliens who are trying to eat your fish.
Yeah,
maybe they're alien sharks.
The Shark Committee really raised a stink about that, so they had to change it in the remake. And they wouldn't even release it in Germany.
I think you can raise sharks, and they help you fight the aliens now, that I'm remembering it correctly.
Okay.
Can you put freaking laser beams on their heads?
Possibly, because it came out in 2001, which is, I don't know, roughly about the same time as Austin Powers.
Well,
we got Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends Pinball.
Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds delightful.
But there's one that I thought that you would be interested in, just because of what it is. Pinball Construction Set.
Oh, that sounds sick.
It's considered the first construction set game that launched the concept and genre.
Huh.
Construct a pinball game by dropping parts onto the table or alter the table itself. Alter world physics like gravity, bounce, kick, and speed. Paint custom backboards. Wire together targets for specials and bonus points. And finally, save your creations for later or generate a self-loading version of the table to distribute to friends. So I was like, oh, that's cool. A self-generating version. The fucking Judge Dredd pinball. Enchanted pinball. There's all kinds, man. The one that's not on here, and I realized again, Windows game, was the Space Pinball.
You're looking for 3D Space Cadet pinball, I know.
Yeah, always, man. That's what I'm always looking for. That's what I'm pining after. Balls from Hell is the one I wanted to point out, which is a first-person pinball game.
What?
Interesting.
Here's the description.
Are you the ball?
So I love that the guy who does this writes the descriptions for these games. So,
cool.
Balls from Hell. This game is a bad gimmick, badly put together. You are the pinball, and you can influence your roll direction and horizontal orientation via use of the arrow keys. You might be thinking it's a powerful adrenaline rush, with you narrowly avoiding obstacles and bouncing off them at a jarring, nauseating speed. Nope. You lethargically drag up and down the board, which strangely resembles nothing I have ever seen in an actual pinball game, in bad Wolfenstein graphics. That, coupled with the absence of paddles, flashing lights, or interesting bonuses, make any kind of this just make it a very strange game.
Huh. Well, then.
Well, I mean, at least they had an idea. Not necessarily a good idea, not necessarily good execution, but an idea nonetheless.
Yeah, and the one...
Sounds like that idea was just balls.
There was one other... So there's an adult section, because you can sort this by all kinds of stuff, but there's like an adult rating section. And you want to talk about a...
In pinball or just
no,
general?
Just in general. You want to talk about a blast from the past, some of these old like strip poker games or just match games where there's just like a badly pixelated naked lady behind it. Like, God, the amount of these I used to play on like my friend's dad's old beat computer while his dad was asleep. I loaded up one because, of course, the first game I loaded up in this whole program was a porn game, of course, because it's me. And it was called Girlfriend... Girlfriend Tracy.
It was called Girlfriend.
Girlfriend Tracy.
You like shut down in the middle of that sentence.
And she, you had to just like input, different things to see if you could get her to take her clothes off, but you had to like get to know you and things like that. And it was just really funny, the things that thing wouldn't fucking recognize. When I was like, what are you up to? What do you mean? Like, I don't understand what that word is. Can you give me a one-word description of what it means?
Nothing gets me hard like the Zork
Dude,
parser.
yeah, it's exactly what it reminded me of. I was like, I'm playing, okay, north.
Inventory, drop panties.
But it was funny because she's like, whenever you would say something right, the camera would zoom in on her face and she'd give you a really exaggerated wink. And oh God, dude, it was so funny. I'm laughing. I'm like, who would have gotten a boner? I guess this was just like cutting edge back in the day. But now, with porn at the tip of your fingers at all times, it's like, who got hard at this?
Tip of your fingers? That's an unusual technique.
There was a time where, people had to buy magazines.
Oh, listen, I remember the first time I looked in a penthouse. I always really liked Playboys.
Was Duke Nukem there?
I always thought Playboys were like, I really liked looking at the naked ladies. Then I saw a penthouse where this girl was sticking her tongue up another girl, and it just grossed me out for some reason. At like the age I was at. As I got older, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. But but at the time, I was like, don't they pee from there?
They do on the next page.
Yeah, right? Oh, man. I tell you, I was looking through something the other day and ended up stumbling upon pictures of this chick naked. I'm looking at her. I'm like, you look so familiar. And it clicked with me. She's from one of the old Playboys I had as a kid. It's the same pictures from it. So I'm like, I remember. Now I know why I know these. I have beat off to these as a younger man.
Oh, a little nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly.
Burner.
I got a little nostalgia knob.
Nostalgia.
Yes, bitch. Trademark Steam Machine Podcast. Nostalgia, when you get a boner from thinking about the past. Anyway, boys, we played a game.
Hour into the show.
We played a game called Dungeon Munchies. Now, Mikhailov, you chose this game. Why?
Good question.
Not in a bad way.
I really would like to know how this one got across your plate, because it seems like you were surprised by some of the contents of it. So it's not like you knew where this one was going to go. No. I was very curious as to this segment myself.
It's been sitting in my Steam library for a long time. And when Dalton approached me about being on Spooktober, which, this is technically my first year actually joining you guys for the spooky stuff. Usually I just kind of hang back and listen to all the different ways in which you guys have peed your pants the whole month of October.
But now we can pee your pants.
Say, now you're going to be the Dave of PlayStation Access, where they, when horror time comes around, he hates horror games. So they make him play them on stream because it's entertaining. It's going to be fun being like, oh, yeah, Mikhailov, we're going to play Resident Evil 8. And I can't wait to hear what you think about it. It'll be fun.
I guess I should probably buy some more underwear.
Bring me my brown pants.
Oh my gosh. So I was looking through my Steam library being like, there's gotta be something in my Steam library that's Halloween related that I can actually somewhat stomach.
It's gotta be Kane! It's gotta be Kane!
And then I stumbled across Dungeon Munchies, and this has been sitting in my library forever. I'm pretty sure I got it on a Humble Bundle. And so I suggested it, and yeah, here we are.
All right. So then my question to you, sir, is then what was your first impression?
So...
Actually, hold on.
Yeah, I was going to say, do we do any Wikipedia this time? Or?
Oh, yeah, Boodia.
It's so small that I almost forgot about it. That's what she said. So...
Oh, just like the Coke can.
This week's Wikipedia bullshit, I had to go to dungeon-munchies.fandom.com to get this. Dungeon Munchies is a side-scrolling action RPG with a focus on hunting down creatures, cooking them, and eating dishes to gain certain abilities. The combination of dishes that you choose to eat will impact your entire playstyle. The game released 1.0 on July 27th, 2022.
That's a relatively recent game then.
I just remembered how I ended up with this game in my Steam library. I bought it as a Humble Bundle that had something to do with cooking, and Cook Serve Delicious 3 was also in that same bundle.
Aha. Boy, have you played Cook Serve Delicious 3 yet?
No, I really need to. I heard it's
that
fantastic.
Even by Cook Serve, that one's really stressful. I'm not going to lie. It's because, like, you're in a food truck in that one, and you gotta, like, make stuff before you get to the next stop, and the time pressure is intense in that game.
Which, I don't know, I want to have a relaxing cooking game, so that kind of actually is a turnoff to me.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably turn down the difficulty, too. I just don't do that.
Fair. So, did you want me to go first on impressions?
Yes, sir. You bitch.
So, first impressions was I decided to play this on Steam Deck, and I couldn't get it to work right away. And I'm not sure why that is. Because even now, I'll go to boot it up and I'll have to, like, cancel out and boot out of it. But I will get into the game. Definitely not what I expected. I mean, I definitely expected some of the horror aspect. I expected there to be cooking and eating. I didn't expect the game to be you cook something once and you have it forever. And I guess I didn't expect it to be so story-driven. I literally thought it was going to be a collectathon, for lack of a better term. I thought, like, it was going to have to be one of those games where, you know, you go out and you harvest monsters and you cook and you prep and you get your armor and you get your weapons and you get your potions and all that, and then you go out and play the game and you try to get to the harder levels, but it wasn't that at all. It's actually kind of more like Dead Souls-y, maybe Metroid-y. Dead Cells, not Dead Souls. Dead Souls is something completely different.
Dead Souls is the Yakuza game with zombies.
Yeah, no, I got Dead Cells vibes from it, but it's not a roguelike. Okay. It's definitely just a...
Like... There's no rogue, just like...
I guess it's a Metroidvania?
In the loosest possible sense that you can backtrack with extra abilities later, but it's very, very linear.
And you don't really need to either. Yeah, this is a very linear game.
No, like, I guess the only reason to backtrack...
I think you could backtrack to pick up a couple recipes you missed, and that's about the only thing you would really want to do.
Yeah, but I don't want to get into the meat and bones of the game just yet, because we're only on first impressions, so I feel like you could survive just on what you get on the road.
Yeah, absolutely, I did.
So... yeah, I guess first impressions just not what I expected at all.
I'm going to completely second that and also say my first impression was they really didn't seem to think people were going to play this game on a controller, I think. Like, the controller default settings all felt like an afterthought. If you play on mouse and keyboard, you can aim separately from the direction you're moving, which you can't do on the controller. The default buttons are bizarre, where, like, the status screen, which you would expect to be on, like, select or start in most games, is bound to left trigger, or L2.
Yeah, that's the weirdest spot for it to be.
I think R2 is secondary attack.
It is.
But circle or B is primary attack, and then dodge roll is also on one of the not the triggers, but the bumpers.
Yeah.
And, like, I had to rebind everything, so I bound primary attack to right trigger, secondary attack to left trigger, status to select, and roll to... I think I bound roll to X, and, yeah.
I actually didn't have a problem with the controller layout. I tried to get a little spicy and, like, try to use, like, the Steam Deck trackpads to do stuff and everything, and then I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to play this game with the default controls. It was fine.
Man,
I don't know. I thought there was a really bad set of default controls, and I also thought, like, in the beginning, combat was incredibly underwhelming. Like, it's not very interactive whatsoever. It feels like basically fighting random trash mobs in Terraria. except you're less performant. Like, your mobility isn't as good.
And you don't need as many parts, so you get to a point in the game where you just end up skipping over enemies because you're like, well, I don't really need this.
That's a little beyond first impression, but yeah.
Yeah, no, but like even back then...
The combat's perfunctory.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. The combat's perfunctory and it's unrewarding.
Yeah.
Mechanically and gameplay-wise pretty early on.
Like at first I started playing it like I would like Final Fantasy 14. Like you have to get through these enemies to get to the next room. And then I realized you don't need to do that.
No, it's more like Dark Souls. You could just beat it from point A to the bonfire.
Yeah.
I also want to jump in and say absolutely ridiculous that they did not map aiming to the right thumbstick.
Yeah, that's the absolute most obvious thing in the world, and it's killing me that they didn't do that. Like, it's... It really feels like they didn't think someone would play this game on a controller, despite the fact that it did come out on Switch also.
Yeah.
I heard that's the worst way to play that game, too.
I'm quite sure it must be.
Yeah.
Typically is. If it's not a Nintendo proprietary.
Yeah, because they're the only ones who really know how to optimize their own hardware, but that's another story.
Yeah. But, so as far as my first impression goes, I was about ready to bounce off this game immediately.
Yeah.
I loaded
That's
in.
fair.
I'm like, God damn it, it's a Metroidvania.
So you knew.
Luckily, it ended up not being quite as bad. Like we said, it's actually fairly linear. I did not even attempt to use a controller because I was playing Final Fantasy 11, so I decided to like look up this game on YouTube, not to watch any playthroughs, but to see like just some quick reviews. And I think I watched like 6 videos that were all like 6-7 minutes long. One of them was particularly about the Switch version, and universally said that the control scheme for controller is garbo. So I played mouse and keyboard, much better. Like, much better. I don't understand why people were complaining about mouse and keyboard not being able to, like, attach to the walls. I'm like, dude, you just run into it and jump, and you just keep running into it and jump, and that's how you hug the wall.
Yeah, and also the controls are, while you're on that subject, things like wall jumping and jumping through platforms and stuff felt really loosey-goosey. Mm-hmm. Like, it definitely reminded me of when you played, like Newgrounds Flash platformers, and they tried to roll their own physics from scratch, and they didn't quite have everything worked out.
I'm almost curious, and maybe if one of you wanted to like look this up, if it's even out there, if this was this company's first game, because it seems like maybe they're like it would be like their first attempt at a platformer type thing, or if it was like a solo dev guy, you know.
My theory was that this game was definitely mainly made by an artist who wanted to show off, because the pixel art and animations are fantastic. That is definitely one of the other things that jumped out at me immediately. Character art too, yes.
Tremendous.
I like the moment I saw like the cute little like necromancer ghost lady that summoned you. I'm like, oh, okay, we got a little anime girl that we worked for, and she's kind of funny and kind of enjoying that a lot. And the charm comes in the dialogue for sure.
And the names.
Because early on...
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the character names are great. But yeah, like early on the game is very, very, very thin. And gameplay-wise, I mean, do you mind if I get a little out of first impressions now, or do we have a segment in between? Gameplay-wise, really the depth in the game comes from building your character build rather than the actual combat. Like, you can equip one primary weapon, one secondary weapon, and up to 6 food items. So you're not really eating the food, and it's not like so much you're cooking it as you are crafting an accessory that you can equip and de-equip at any point from that point on.
I played this game on the easiest difficulty, right? And you're talking about, you know, combat kind of being like second to, you know, everything else going on, dude. No, it was trivial on the easiest difficulty. Yeah. Like, I got through up until at least halfway through the game before I ever ran into an enemy that killed me. And that's because I was so used to just mowing through shit that I was just flippantly fucking around with this enemy and didn't realize it was hitting me harder than the enemies previously.
Yeah, I watched Mikhailov do a boss fight a minute ago and was like, wow. I was playing on the middle difficulty, sous chef, so I was like, okay, that I actually had to, you know, dodge things and roll out of the way of attacks. And it was like, he was just sitting there attacking it directly, and he never lost more than 10 hit points at a time.
Yeah.
Out of 80.
With my build, one of the foods that I had was it made every time you landed a melee attack, it would speed your attack speed up. I think it would knock down your damage a little bit, but you would attack faster, which equaled more damage in the long run. And I would go up to bosses and just start swinging with both my hand weapons, and then they would eventually just start swinging really quickly, and it would just melt bosses. Just dead.
Yeah.
Now, this game had a couple surprises up its sleeve, and one of them, speaking of bosses, is that you're fighting the bosses, and you're doing your 2D platformer, swinging your sword, hitting the boss, taking down its health, and all of that, and then all of a sudden, it just goes into a bullet hell for a certain amount of time. There's like a timer running. That's the timer for the bullet hell section. Now you can attack the boss and it will make the timer go quicker, but like you are having to deal with bullet hell stuff, and it's like I understand now why they would give you shields, because I ended up maining a shield in my secondary for most of the game after I realized this, because some of those bullet hell bullets, they're unavoidable. You have to tank the damage. There's just so many of them coming at you. Your character sprite is bigger than any room that you have to get out of the way.
Yeah, I think you do get some iframes while dodging, or rolling or whatever, but even then it's not enough to get through everything. Whereas a shield trivializes a lot of it, because the way the shields work in this game is basically the shield, while you're holding it up, as long as it hits the side that your shield is pointed in, it basically gives you 20 extra hit points, or however many that shield does. And when the shield breaks, you could just wait like 1 to 5 seconds depending on the shield, pop it back out, and you get this 20 hit points back.
Yeah, and the shield that I was using gave me 60 shielding, and some of the food that I had gave me shielding every time I took damage. So it would just stack up to where I had like a full health bar worth of shield before my shield started going down again.
Yeah. And, like, that's one of the things that was fun, too, was stacking stuff up that would work, like, in synergy with each other. Like, the thing you talked about earlier, the melee thing that goes faster every attack, I had that, but I also used a spear, which had a move where if you hit down an attack, you would go, like, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, and that would lower the enemy's defense, so the next hits for, like, 5 seconds longer would all do 25 extra damage or whatever. And then I combined that with the one that makes it to where if you're holding a shield out, your spear does an extra 25% damage. And so the spear just immediately was like deleting most minor enemies and anything that's sort of a boss, really.
Yeah.
And so with me, I kind of had a sword build, and
yeah, so using the combos, which I never got around to.
Yeah, so I had food that allowed me to do the sword combos, which did more damage, but then I also had food that like increased my max HP. I had one that like if you took damage, you eventually regain that health over time, which is probably why my health never actually went down. And so I just would just slash, and like everything was pretty much done. And I was playing on the easiest difficulty as well, so I'm probably about to hit that point where I think things are going to start hitting harder. But yeah, honestly, if it weren't for the actual story writing in this game, I would have stopped playing a long time ago.
Well, if you look at the difficulty select screen too, the lowest difficulty level, basically the description was like, I just want to see what happens in the game.
Yeah.
Like, it is not supposed to be any kind of combat challenge. So if you picked the I don't want to play the video game thing and then didn't have enough video game, I'll tell you that even on medium, it's still pretty arbitrary. Like, the combat is not the draw.
Yeah, the full build that I ended up going with was like I said, the swing faster, the shielding food. But then I also had some, like 3 or 4 of my foods added DOT to my damage. And then I had one that healed me for like 10 every time I got hit. I think you had that one too, Mikhailov.
Yeah, I did have that one.
But for my weapons, I ran that shield, and I was just using whatever main weapon I could get until I got the Employee of the Month scythe. And the Employee of the Month scythe or sickle or whatever it was summons three or four, I don't remember which one, skeletons that fight along with you. And just the combination of stuff that I had, I was melting enemies, just mowing through shit. And I stuck with that. And then whenever the sickle came up that summoned 2 scarecrows, I used that. And now I use the one that summons like 5 or 6 combat drone things that fly around and shoot stuff. It's great.
I'm pleased to report that later on you get a shield that also summons machine gun skeletons.
Fucking sweet. Oh, nice. I'm going to be just like Mr. Summons.
I definitely was running those guys for quite a while before I just started going for max spear damage plus max shield.
Now, I will say...
Yeah, I had a... Sorry, go ahead.
No. Absolutely, go ahead.
All I was going to say, I had a Mantis Scythe, which was a secondary weapon, which allowed me to summon Mantis Guardians, whatever spirits, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, the summons are very helpful, in my opinion. At least with the build that I had, it was very helpful. So now would probably be a good time to say, Willie, you beat this game. Mikhailov, you are about halfway through, and I am, I think, about 7 little fast travel points away from the end. So I'm like relatively close. I don't know how much we want to get on the story, but we can talk about more so the ideas that it presents. right? So, like, one that really intrigued me is that you find out that humanity is basically dead. The girl that summons you, you're a zombie, and the girl that summons you is like a ghostly thing. I don't really know. It hasn't really explained that much yet where I'm at.
She's a ghost.
Thing, yeah.
And plants are becoming sentient, and like they are dealing with the Lord of the Forest, who tells them that they need to sacrifice themselves to feed the animals because such is the way of life. That's the way things go. Then you defeat the Lord of the Forest, and suddenly there's like this uprising where like there's like this empty ice cream cone who's been going around like telling people he's basically an atheist, like don't believe in the Lord, like they're yada yada yada. And I say atheist, it's more like he's anti-communist or like he's anti-dictator or whatever. But anyway,
he's a revolutionary.
Yeah, he's like
he's a nonconformist. He's like, why are you all relying on this one ruler to tell you what to do?
Che Guevara cone.
Yeah.
So he you end up beating them, and then like the vegetables are like, yeah, we don't need him, we don't need the Lord anymore, we're gonna do our own thing. Then they end up not the scene that cracked me up was bringing me to this. There's a scene where it's like corn and pineapples, and they're like, well, we don't have an enemy anymore. Guess that means we need to have a civil war. You pineapples fucking suck. And the pineapples were like, what? We knew you slippery fucking bananas or corn or whatever it was. We knew you were going to do this, blah, blah. And so then it's like, it's this very interesting take on humanity, in my opinion. Where it's like,
told through plants.
Yeah, it's like...
plants and ghosts. Plants, ghosts, and later on AI.
Yeah, I'm just now getting into the AI stuff. But it's like, it's just wild to me how it's like humans. They had a lord, they broke away, and once they finally didn't have an enemy anymore, they weren't fighting off, dinosaurs and things like that. It's like, oh, well, I guess we're going to fight each other now. And
I mean, it parallels what happened on the surface, too, because originally what happened was basically World War III happened, and then the sun left.
Yeah, the sun's like, I'm going to go find other stars and see if I'm maybe the only one that's sentient, or if maybe there's others like me. But anyway, peace. Don't send anybody after me. If I seen spaceships come after me, I'm going to burn them.
I will incinerate them.
It's like, what the fuck?
And it turns out right before your necromancer spirit, like when she was a human, she worked for this totalitarian government that was trying to save the last humans, and there's a lot of layers to the story.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Like half the population went underground, the other half got on spaceships to go try to find another habitable planet, to which then they would build a Stargate to link them. But then there's like propaganda on the underground that's like, we don't need the star people. Like, if you talk bad about the people who rule the underground, they will kill you. Like there's a thing about they're going to round up 700 people, and you can live stream. If you use the QR code on your screen, you can live stream their... Now, it's not on the actual game screen. This is like a thing you're reading, but it's like, you can watch the live executions of these 700 and something people and stuff like. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Kind of nuts.
Pretty brutal.
So, how spoilery do we want to get into? Like, do we want to talk about...
See, the thing is, there's enough twists in the game that I feel like we've only got to even barely halfway in before other weird shit starts happening. But I do think that we should bring up what I don't know. What were you about to say, Mikhailov?
I was just going to talk about how you're going through the game and you're seeing this, like, protector figure show up, and... they're like threatening and arguing with what's her name? How did I forget it already?
Simmer.
I was just playing the game. Simmer, thank you. They're arguing with Simmer, which is the spirit who created you, and you're starting to think like, oh, the protector is this like, bad person. And then you go to like actually fight the protector, and right before the fight begins, they're like working on fixing things. They were like changing a light bulb, and they're like, there was like a giant ladder in the middle of the boss level, which didn't serve any purpose, but there's just a giant ladder there because they had to climb the ladder to change the light bulb. And they're just having a conversation, like two people working, the henchman and the protector, and they're just like, when we're done changing the light bulb, we're gonna go check out the plumbing in like this area. They're just having a regular conversation about maintaining the building.
And even the visuals leading up to that area, you see like all the agriculture and ecosystems that had been put in place by the Lord Protector of the Forest, like all these like new animals, new plants, and all that. Like it's suddenly a lot more alive right outside of there than it had been throughout the dungeon you start off in.
Right,
and then it's not long after you defeat that Lord and find out who they are that you're introduced to a new swerve, which is what I felt like was an ode to an SCP almost, because it's like, we got this and they redact the information, and it's like it showed up, it's a parasite type thing, and it needs to be contained and destroyed at all costs.
And then all of a sudden, the game's graphics start getting really horror-y.
Yeah.
And this is where I feel like I really kind of confirmed my theory that this game was basically made for like an artist to show off and a writer to have a good time.
And also, when I got to that part, it kind of made me feel justified in actually picking this game for Spooktober, because now we actually got to start to see some of the spooky horror stuff.
I will say,
that
up until that point, I was like, there's nothing scary about this game at all.
Yeah, but
aside from it has ghosts and zombies, but not really.
Yeah, like that was the original. Like, it was supposed to be like a Mikhailov cop out, and then there actually turned out to be horror elements in this game.
No, the game ends up really exploring feelings of like horror, dread, and like really stark sadness the further you go into it. Like there were definitely a lot of feels. It's like very strongly about regret, about suffering, about like punishing yourself for things.
Like, even when you start to like get archival footage of the human race that lived there and some of their last moments, like, you know, this one guy,
cock and balls and cock.
Cock and balls and cock. Which, by the way, this game is very grown up, because one of the first things I noticed where I was like, what the fuck, was, and I sent a picture of this to you guys, was like, there's just an area of the game where you're just seeing all these like signposts and stuff that was around for the human era, and there's just like penis graffiti, and it's actually
very nicely detailed too.
It's actually very detailed penis graffiti, like right down to the pubes and the little like liquid coming out, which we all know what that is,
the squirty bits.
And yeah, the squirty bits. And it's like, you know, when I was a freaking teenager, like being young and stupid and obnoxious, that's exactly how I would draw a penis.
Yeah. No.
There's a lot of good attention to detail in that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's cursing. There's like, there's like humans going around saying like cock and balls and cock. Like, it's... Which
was the mic check that Rob uses in the first... Like, that's the first time you actually see a full flesh and blood human in a video archive footage.
Yeah. And even then, like, he's like full on like and subscribe. Like, it's a total live stream. He's like, yeah, you know, I don't know if any humans are going to watch this, but if you're watching, like and subscribe. Yeah, I cremated my family the other day. That was sad.
Did y'all have a reaction? Because I did. I was kind of like, oh, this is off-putting. When you encounter the first banana that's sentient, and he just looks at you and goes,
yes,
kill me.
Mikhailov definitely talked about it when it happened.
Oh, and then the whole time the second you kill that banana and you use it to make a dish, like, you actually see like his twisted like smiley face in the like his last moments of life still on the dish.
Fucking weird, man.
That creeped me out. I would not use that dish as a buff.
The artist does some really good messed up faces, and when it gets used in like background imagery later on, it's just really good. I gotta give so much credit to the artist, especially because the way that they draw the main character, I usually hate it when games do that pixel style because it doesn't really look like a real old style of game. But then the monsters and the set pieces are so good that I kind of let it go.
And even like some of the plant life, like all the younger rebellious bananas are all green, and like their like ruler is like peeling and like has the black spots and like looks like a freaking about to be decayed banana. And then even like some of the weirdest horror shit involves bananas in this game.
Oh yeah, you just got the rotten banana scene.
Oh yeah, fully completely like dark black rotten destroyed banana. And yeah,
that one is not going to be banana bread.
No, not even a little bit.
Man,
well, that'd be funny if you could make banana bread. That should have been a recipe in the game.
More like banana dread.
Ooh,
hey.
Long Walk Through the Cursed Earth. That's a Judge Dredd reference.
Oh man, he dated Judge Judy for a while, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Judge Judy and Executioner.
You know what? I gotta forgive it with all the jokes I've been given tonight.
That was a good one, dude.
It was.
I think I stole it from a movie. I just don't remember which one. I bet Nathan knows. He watches a lot more stupid comedies than I do.
Oh, man.
So, I don't know that I have much else to say about the game.
I actually thought we were about to wrap up, too, because I don't want to really give away the ending or anything.
Yeah,
exactly.
no, like,
there's still a lot
I'm actually going to beat the game whenever we're done, so, yeah, I'll find out the ending for myself.
Yeah, same here.
I'm close enough.
Like, honestly, like, for a game that, like, was so combat unheavy, like, I still want to get through it.
Sure, man. So,
I mean, there's a lot of combat in it. It's just bad, and you can skip most of it.
You could skip most of it now, so that, like, I could see myself just golden pathing my way to the end just to see what happens, but it really is the characters and the story and the lore that enthrall you in this game. It's not the gameplay at all whatsoever.
I gotta jump in real quick. This is it's a side tangent because I'm stoned and I apologize. But Willie, the way you said it's bad, like the combat's bad, but the way you said that made me think of a time that I went with Ryan to a wrestling show, and one of the wrestlers that was wrestling was Brian Kendrick, and Brian Kendrick trained Eva Marie. You remember how that went? And
there's a very famous
Brian
match.
Kendrick gets up on the top rope and he's posing, and Ryan just yells out, "Eva Marie is bad and you should feel bad." And he didn't acknowledge it, but dude, I about fucking fell out. I was like, God damn. Tremendous. Shout out to Ryan, OG Steam Machine host. So we about ready to do some ratings, boys?
I think so.
I'm ready.
All right. Well, since you picked it and you got a gold stripe on your headphones, what was your
Zelda? That's not the first time you brought up the gold stripe. It's Zelda.
give it a big slurp.
I'm gonna give it a higher rating than I originally thought I was gonna end up giving it. I'm gonna go 7 bananas out of 10 boar meat, because boar meat was finally some real meat.
Finally, some real food.
Yeah. Or it was finally some normal meat or something like that. All the foods had like all the ingredients had like some little comedic description to them, which just added to the charm of the game. So, I mean, it's not perfect. It can't get a full 10 out of 10, but honestly, the story saved this game, and I'm going 7 out of 10.
You are coming up on a point where you're going to start meeting some new types of enemies, and some of the descriptions are absolutely hilarious for them. Like,
there's one point where you pick up literal vomit, and the description is something along the lines of, just go with it.
That reminds me of West of Loathing, when you would go into the saloon and check the spittoons, and the narrator would actively try to talk you out of doing it. And then finally, by the end, he's like, you know what? Just dive in head first. Just you take the bucket, dump it over your head. You're bathing in the stuff. Like it's hilarious how that evolves over that game. Man, we should do a Steam Machine revisit and do West of Loathing.
I would play West of Loathing.
I wouldn't be opposed. Yeah.
I used to play Kingdom of Loathing back in the day, and that's just a browser-based game.
I think Willie's the one that told me about Kingdom of Loathing.
I'm pretty sure Willie and I played it together back in the day.
I didn't, but I played. You played it with someone that we both know in common.
Yeah. Okay. I could have sworn you jumped in at some point.
No, never. I never actually ended up joining any of those games y'all played.
Neopets? You were into that.
Didn't play Neopets with y'all. I did have it separately, but not at that time.
What did we play?
Obviously.
Besides Ragnarok Online, you didn't even play that.
I didn't play Ragnarok Online.
Yeah. This just had to have been something.
No, we just did the forums and websites and stuff.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. Okay. Sorry. Side tangent.
Don't think I played anything with you until this show.
Wow.
See, well, look at me bringing friends together.
I mean, I wasn't stoned or drunk or anything in college. I just have a really bad memory.
Speaking of bad memories and drunk in college, it's not a good segue at all because it has nothing to do with it. Willie, what is your rating for the show, my good sir?
Actually, I was pretty much thinking the exact same thing. This game, for the first hour, seemed like it was going to be fighting for a 5. And by the time I finished, I'm like, the story, the art, and basically the story and the pixel art, especially the backgrounds, did enough that I was eventually charmed into it. I liked the characters a lot. We never even mentioned the skeletons. That Simmer has a few reanimated people that clearly used to know her back in the day.
They're probably making out in a dark corner somewhere.
Yeah. And it ended up being a real trip. Had a lot of fun with them, and I even sent a message to Nate once where just a picture of one of them saying something stupid. I'm like, I'm gonna miss these idiot skeletons once this game's done. So yeah, it really can't get above this number because I can't reiterate that the actual combat and platforming are between trivial and bad, but enough of it feels good, and I'm happy enough that I played it that I think I'm just gonna ultimately give it a 7 fried mosquitoes out of 10 mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no gameplay loop. Once you're done with it, you're done with it, but it's a decent ride.
Yeah, I think there's just a hard ceiling on this one.
Yeah. And it's weird for a game that advertises itself as a game that might have a gameplay loop. Because usually games that have a cooking mechanic are meant to be like replayed.
Yeah, but you don't actually need the ingredients more than once. It's really just a skin for crafting, which I already bitched about in the Alien Isolation episode.
Yeah, which, that's why it didn't get a perfect score for me either, because that actually disappointed me. I guess I was expecting more on the gameplay than what it delivered, but...
Well, the story has a lot to do with cooking, at least.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, I think thematically there's a better reason for it to be in this than there was in Alien Isolation. But still, it wasn't really cooking, was it?
Ooh. Well, it's down to a nice simmer.
It's just funny to me that that's the elevator pitch for this game involves something that really isn't part of it. And I'm just choosing not to acknowledge your joke, by the way. I heard it.
Dalton, what would you give this?
Can we get a number?
So, okay, full disclosure. Had I stuck with my opinion before today, this game would have been like a 4, maybe. I bounced off of it pretty hard at first, but today I was like, I'm gonna. I actually meant to dive back into it yesterday, and I got distracted with Final Fantasy 11. So I dove back in today, and I was playing again. And the further I've gotten into the story, I've realized that the reviews that I was watching weren't full of shit. Most of them said this game's not great, but the story is really good. So the more I'm playing through it, the more that has brought it up. So I will say that I am going to finish it, because usually I would just be like, all right, well, I'm done with this game because it's a Metroidvania-esque game and the show's done with it. But I do enjoy it, and I want to see how it ends. I think that the developer of this game should go buy a lottery ticket, because I'm also going to give it a 7 grills out of 10 simmers, and that's 3 7s, man. It's lucky 7s. So
wow.
Nice.
7s across the board.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
7's cost the griddle.
Now, boys, we got...
Yeah, the character development definitely is up there. Like, this game had some good writing. But anyway, sorry, I cut you off, Dalton.
No, you're fine. We got a whopping, and I hope you guys are prepared for this, 2 questions. Okay, they're both
good.
picture...
I'm ready to be finished.
They're both picture questions, and they're both in the chat waiting for you guys.
I see.
And if I am not...
Also, Mikhailov, I saw your message, and I see what you sent me. I mentioned it earlier on the episode, but I just wanted to thank you in person while I still have you up for sending me the Iberia DLC for Euro Truck Simulator.
I just happened to look it up. It was on sale. I'm like, you know what?
The DLC's on sale again? Hell yeah.
I only paid like $6-7 for it.
Not
Wonderful.
So,
I'm so happy.
Not that I should tell you how much I spent on a thing that I gifted you, but,
No, but I mean, that is cool, because I was kind of waiting until these things came out on sale.
But you were talking about it. You seemed very
I'm excited.
excited.
Now I have 2 new countries I've never been to, so I get to explore again.
I thought I'd send you some happiness.
And Spain's pretty fucking big.
Yeah.
So have fun with it, man. We have, like I said, a whopping 2 questions. The first one is a picture. The second one is a picture. I got them in the chat for you. The first one comes in from Steam Machine Dalton. Moi.
That guy.
I think we've done this on the show before, but I'm going to do it again. You're a kid again, and you've got $1. What soda are you picking out of the machine? Your choices: Coca-Cola Classic, Diet Coke, Mountain Dew, 7-Up, Sunkist, Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Dr. Pepper.
And that is...
Why did you read it in some weird S-curve style there?
I was just being different.
So that looks exactly like a vending machine from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nostalgic. The buttons, I could feel those buttons pressing them.
Yeah, and the fact that it's just like a piece of paper in there, or a piece of cardboard behind a... Yeah.
And a couple of them are way off center even.
Yeah.
The Sunkist and Dr. Pepper one are barely in there halfway right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that brings back memories.
And you always had the 15% chance of not getting a drink to fall.
Mm-hmm. And then the next person that came out would get 2.
Yeah, and it was always great when you got 2.
But if you won that they didn't want...
Yeah.
No, because you always get the Sunkist when you didn't want Sunkist. You'd be like, well, how am I supposed to mix this with what I got?
I just drink the Sunkist because I like orange soda, but that's just me. My name's Kale.
I was going to say, I would drink anything in here, but if I... obviously, I have to pick one, and I've got my quarter, which I can't believe these cost $0.25 back then, but, inflation. As a kid, I'd go straight for the Dr. Pepper.
Same. I think we're going a very similar road here.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, the Dr. Pepper is just,
yeah.
Perfect. The whiskey of soft drinks.
I mean, as an adult, I'd take the Diet Coke, but yeah.
Yep. 2 for 2, baby. That is exactly my answer. That is literally what I was thinking when I was looking at that picture. You said 100% what I want.
Oh, which,
I'm not far off, because as a kid, I probably would have gone Dr. Pepper. Close runner-up, 7-Up, because that's what my grandparents always had, so I was used to drinking it. So it'd have been like, oh, I know that. I'll get that. It's crisp and refreshing. I didn't...
Yeah, clear lemon lime sodas are really tasty. I used to have that for breakfast occasionally when had it as an option, and it's like I would rather have that than orange juice. Like it just gives you that bubbly Sprite feeling in the day.
Yeah, dude, it's
good. Now I kind of want some bubbly.
It's
Sprite.
honestly, it's like one of the more. It's more refreshing to me than like drinking a Coke or drink like a Sprite or a 7-Up or a Sierra Mist.
Especially when you wake up real thirsty.
Although
it just feels really good. Get that starry.
Did you guys? Did I send the thing about Sierra Mist where like why it's called Starry now?
Wait, they changed it?
Yeah, Starry is like they've changed it, and it's like I think it's a slightly different formula, and it's more like advertised towards like Gen Z now. It's called Starry, and I've had it, and it's pretty good. It feels like it tastes a little more limeish, but that could
they changed their name. They changed the name of it because I guess like either the patent ran out for the name or the trademark, and some girl fucking nabbed the trademark and changed her name to Sierra Mist. And
What the fuck?
Pepsi had to legally fucking change the name of the product. That's why it's called Starry now. They just switched it up completely.
Some kid, like some rich kid, was like, Dad, get me a patent for my birthday?
I don't know. I don't remember the exact... I'll look it up and I'll share it in the show chat. But it was like... Yeah, it's this whole thing where this girl... I don't know if it was her stream name was Sierra Mist and she used streamer money to nab it. I don't remember exactly what it was. But
wow.
it was something like that. And I'm like, that's incredible. But as an... So...
She missed out on an opportunity there.
I think as an adult, though, I'm going Diet Pepsi.
Yeah.
You're a DP.
I'm a Diet Pepsi guy.
That's fair. I think, yeah. I think
Diet
if I were
Pepsi
Dalton, I would
it's a
drink
very
Diet Pepsi
unique
too.
flavor. Oh yeah.
Well, no, not
that's
even
fair.
because of that.
Diet Pepsi is a very standout flavor.
Yeah.
I like it, but it's like a 1 in 6 thing for me, you know? Most days I don't really feel like it, and it's like not a substitute for Diet Coke for me.
Yeah, no, the vending machine at work in the teacher's lounge is a Pepsi machine, so...
Then you gotta go for the Diet Mountain Dew when that's an option.
I don't like Mountain Dew.
Yeah, man.
The only Mountain Dew
Well,
I'll drink is
could
Baja Blast, and even then it's got to be the zero sugar version.
See, I'm
Okay, I was gonna yell at you.
I'm
but
on
you're
the
cool
same
now.
vein, except it's Baja Blast and Code Red. I still love Code
Code Red.
Red, but like OG Mountain Dew, it just doesn't do it for me. Unless it is almost slushy ice cold. Like it has got to be cold as fuck, and then I will really enjoy a Mountain Dew. But the minute that it starts to warm up, it's disgusting.
It's basically.
You ever had a
piss.
Mountain Dew slushie?
I'm sure I have at some point, but like never like on purpose.
They have them at the Circle K near me, and it's actually really good. But what I tried was mixing the Mountain Dew slushie with the cherry slushie. Instant frozen Code Red, baby! Let's freaking go, gamers!
Oh, yeah, I bet that is good.
Strange things are
So
afoot
tasty.
at the Circle K.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle. Ted, don't be dead, dude.
There is no Circle K's in Connecticut, by the way, just so you know.
Was it?
No, that's
Who was it? What brand was it that did the Polar Pops with the polar bear?
that is.
Was it
well,
Gate?
Polar Pop is Circle K's brand. This is Polar Pop.
Oh,
right
okay. So
here.
maybe they just don't do the.
No, slushy or icy had the polar bear on it.
That's what it was. That's what it was. The icy polar bear. That's okay. All right. Anyway, so we got one more question. This comes in from Jeff, and I told Jeff this might be the easiest one of these he's ever sent in.
Oh, yeah.
One
I have a feeling I'm going to be the odd man out, but yep.
must be eliminated. Bacon, tacos,
How dare you?
donuts, sushi.
How dare you?
It's an easy one for me.
It's a very easy one for me. So who wants to go first?
If I never ate a donut again, I wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, for me, I'm getting rid of donuts, too.
I'm dying over here. Are you fucking kidding me, you guys? Seriously?
I'm diabetic. I don't need that sugar in my
don't
Okay,
life.
that's fair.
I just don't really eat like sweet pastries that much, so I'm just not really a big fan.
Fair enough. I'd
I'd rather have like oatmeal. I'd rather have like oatmeal raisin cookies, like some kind of grandpa, and I always have.
like I'm one of those people that's like people are like, "Oh, you want a cake for your birthday?" And I'm like, "No, I want like a dozen fresh donuts." Like,
Although now that I'm thinking about those, like cream-filled long ones.
bro,
those are pretty
eclairs
good.
are delicious. Bavarian cream donuts are delicious. Something I forgot to bring up earlier, but me and my dad finally went and checked out that Venezuelan cafe that I had been wanting to go check out.
Ooh.
It's a cafe and bakery, bro, and their food not only was their food fucking phenomenal, like phenomenal, but we got some baked goods from there, and one of them was this thing called a cheese quesadilla. Now, it's not what you're thinking, like a normal like a cheese quesadilla. This was a baked pastry
Right.
with what looked like melted mozzarella cheese on top, like a pizza. It almost looked like a little pizza, right? But it was a pastry.
Okay.
And in the middle of the pastry
following.
was a thin layer of Bavarian cream. Oh, and it was fucking phenomenal.
Kind of like a cheesy Danish type.
It was like
thing.
a Venezuelan
yeah.
cheese Danish, and it was
So instead of a Danish, it was a Venezuelan. Got it.
cheese Venezuelan. It was delicious.
So I have one of my.
Not gonna lie, you're making a decent argument for donuts, but it's still no question
So-
for me.
Well, here's the thing. My I have a student who works at a local bakery. And so at least once a week, if she works the day before school, she will come in with just a ton of freaking locally made donuts, and one of them is Bavarian cream. And she always she just comes in, she's just like, "Hi, mister," just whips out a bag and just puts it on my desk.
Sweet.
She should get an
A.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she is. Yeah. I'm like, that's phenomenal. And I eat the damn donut, and then I feel my blood sugar, and I'm like, I really should not have eaten that damn donut.
Oh man, I adore donuts. They're one of my favorite desserts. I just like pastries in general.
Hey, I mean, there's no shame in being Homer Simpson.
Dude.
You know, it's just not my personal taste.
One of the slept-on donuts, in my opinion, because I used to work at the gas station, so like I ate a lot of the gas station donuts. You know what I mean? Slept on. No one ever buys them, so I would eat them. Just the donut dipped in sugar, like no.
Oh, the classic.
Not even glazed, not frosted. Just dusted in sugar.
Just a regular donut.
The powdered donut actually was one of my favorite of the donuts. I like the powdered better than the chocolate glaze.
Yeah. But I mean, even no. I don't mean the bag donuts. I'm talking about the container with all the different kinds of donuts in it.
Right. I'm just saying it reminds me of the powdered donut.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to relate to you and your sugar madness.
I got you.
I'm trying to reach across the aisle over here from eats too much fatty meat.
So my question to you guys is, you guys both know me pretty well, and you've heard me bitch about food before. Do you know which one of these I would get rid of in a heartbeat?
You get rid of sushi, I think.
You are a son of a bitch. Incorrect. Willie, what do you think?
I figured it would be a texture thing for you. Oh no, you actually like sushi?
I fucking love sushi, bro.
Okay, I take it back.
I think that ultimately bacon is an accessory, not a full menu item.
Bacon can go. Bacon is easily replaceable.
That was definitely the number 2 on my list.
Pancetta, guanciale.
Yeah.
They both taste the same as bacon, if not better than bacon.
I mean, when I go for breakfast, I typically will get sausage over bacon anyways.
Me too. Sausage biscuit over a bacon, chicken, and cheese all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, like who in their right mind would get rid of tacos?
Nobody.
No, that's insane.
Nobody. I just had Taco Bell today.
God, I love tacos.
I'm thinking about getting Taco Bell when this goes off because you've made me hungry. I'm like, that's why you saw me looking at my phone. It's because I'm looking at the McDonald's and Taco Bell menus. Like, what sounds good?
Someone's about to DoorDash.
There's a Taco Bell near me.
No, I'm not DoorDashing. I'm driving, baby. I got this.
The Taco Bell in Keystone, like I've been there maybe 8 times since it's opened a year or 2 ago, and I think they've gotten my order wrong 7 times. So
I believe that.
I'm like to the point where I'm like, if I want Taco Bell, I'm just going to drive to Stark 15 minutes away because I know that Taco Bell's good. I used to go there so much when I worked at Winn-Dixie. I would walk in and I'd walk up to the counter and she'd go, $6.41. Sweet.
You got to know what Taco Bell's got your hookup. That's very important.
Yeah. It's like if you live in a bigger city than I do because we only have one McDonald's, but it's like you drive the extra 20 minutes because or the extra 10 minutes because you know that McDonald's is better. They're going to give you fresher fries, like things like.
Yeah.
And if the box is an option, always get the box because the box is going to get you the best value for your buck.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, at Taco Bell, absolutely.
Yeah, like.
Oh yeah, the yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter what's in the box. Just get the box.
What's in the box?
All right, boys. So, little quick update on what's coming up, and then I'll get into the house cleaning, and we'll get up out of here. Next episode is going to be the freebies episode. It is probably going to be a bit beefy because it's going to be broken up into 2 parts. One part is going to be itch.io games, and that is going to be me, Willie, and we told you he's totally been alive. We didn't have to fish him up out of the ocean and use necromantic forces to bring him back. But Nate will be joining us to talk about some spooky games. As he rises from the grave, just comes in from Cincinnati. And then, so we'll be recording that. And then next week also, we'll be doing Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 1, which will be me, Willie, and Mikhailov. So you have that to look forward to, ladies and gentlemen. Should be a beefy, nice episode. And we're going to do our best. I'm going to do my absolute damnedest to have that episode out on Halloween. So you guys can have some Spooktober finale, if you will. After that, it's the poll. Turnip Boy commits tax evasion. Should be a great time. I've already played and beaten that game. It's tremendous, I promise. And then I'm going to, in fact, see. Willie, Pick a number between 1 and 6.
1.
Okay, so Mikhailov, pick a number between 3 and 6.
6.
Okay.
What did we just do?
All right, so I'm rolling a 6-sided die to see. I'm doing host picks.
Okay.
So Willie 1 and 2, Mikhailov 5 and 6, me 3 and 4.
Okay. Gotcha. That seems fair to me.
First winner gets first pick, and then second winner gets second, and then whoever just doesn't think it was a third. All right, so it's 2. All right. So
All right.
Oh wow.
So I'm up.
3. All right.
Okay.
That's you.
So I'm dead last.
You are last, sir, until we do it again. But sometimes that's a relief, because if we pick stinkers, then you can come in and save the month, or save the 2 months or whatever. But all right, man, that's gonna be fun.
That's
so all
totally
right,
fair.
now house cleaning. Let's run through this shindig and then get up out of here, boys. If you would be so kind as to go on iTunes and Spotify and leave us a 5-star review. I'm pretty sure we still have 5 stars on iTunes. Did notice on Spotify, some of you sneaky people have not given us 5 stars, because I think we're at like 4.6 or something like that. But that's okay. Not everybody's going to love our shindig. But yeah, if you would leave us a review, because anything that you do leave us a review on, it does help us in the algorithm and helps other people discover our show, because I am terrible at marketing. So word of mouth really helps. If you guys are in gaming communities and stuff like that, and you think people would enjoy the show, share it with them. It would really do us a solid. But yeah, 5-star review wherever you get the show, iTunes, Spotify, whatever podcast app that you use. If you would like to join the Discord, which is where all the happening happens, because I'm just so over social media at this point. bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. Come join in on the fun. You can vote on the polls, which I will, once Turnip Boy comes around, there's going to be a new poll. And I'm going to stick with what I said. The next poll that I make is going to be nothing but games that I have on GOG. So we're going to end up probably playing something a little more classic. So that should be some...
A Calabeth.
It might end up being a Calabeth. You never know. If people would vote for that, it's like, hey, let's play this RPG from 1979. That's interesting. But yeah, so bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. Come join, talk shenanigans, vote on polls, and maybe join Backlog Golf next year. Link to the website, bit.ly/The Steam Machine Podcast, capitalized phonetically, is kept up to date by Dane. Thank you very much, my good sir. Check out the show notes and stuff there. Patreon, if you'd like to donate to the show, literally helps me keep the lights on at the moment while I'm looking for work, and it's very much appreciated. Patreon.com/The Steam Machine Podcast. $1 a month gets you the episodes early and ad-free, and you get our little bonus shtick in the beginning that is just for the patrons. $10 or more gets you all of that, plus your name read on each and every episode, like these wonderful, wonderful people. Nate Sir Cogsworth, the 7th of June-iper. Jeff, the original Expendable, Mr. Syllables, old Jeffy Lube. Also, he's a duck. Ariesoradam, shout out to his podcast Revival and Extinction. Team Retrogue, go check him out over on YouTube. Mr. Puzzles, Dane himself, Chad the Mad Lad, no goddamn C in his last name, Shaffer, and Flyin Brian Doran Gray. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you very much. Go check out the Yabs Pod archives, yet another BS podcast. You can check me out over on the JRPG Report. It is a bi-weekly news report show where I get out there and I kind of put the news out, what's coming out of Japan. It's been kind of a lull since Tokyo Game Show, but that's to be expected. So I'm trying to put together maybe a Sunday special soon with me and a couple friends talking about our top 10 JRPGs. So it should be pretty good. Check out, get a
Side
shirt.
note on JRPG Report, Nordics comes out tomorrow. East 10 Nordics.
Yeah, I wish I could afford it. I might.
I still have to play the demo, so I'm not buying it till I finish the demo.
I still want to play 9. I still haven't even touched Monster Nox.
That's the beauty of Ys games. You don't have to play in order.
I know, but I want to. tsmpproductions.threadless.com. Get you a shirt, or if you want our logo on your underwear, so it's close to your... You can get our logo close to your heart or close to your balls. Or vulva, whatever you've got. Show music. You like the show music? Check me out over at nowthenightmare.bandcamp.com, and you can check out one of my actually it's probably, I guess that's my debut technically vocal album, The Longing, by the band titled the artist titled Tragedy Idol, over on Spotify. Mikhailov, plug yo shit. I just popped my mic with that plug. I heard it go.
I didn't hear it. Hopefully it didn't come across on the mic.
Easily fixable, and I really don't care.
Gotcha. Fair. Team Retrogue on YouTube. If you want to see me review all the latest Ambernix, because that seems to be all that's coming out lately, you can get my impressions on them there. Look forward to me reviewing the Retroid Pocket Mini in the very, very near future. I just had to do some surgery on it to get the buttons working, but I'm going to be dishing out that review in a little bit.
Ambernick was that band that did that song that was like, was there something before there ever began? Right?
I can't believe I was thinking that too, actually.
Oh, and also, fuck you, Willie, for the whole, like, band that played Creep, because I know the band who played Creep, so knock it the fuck off.
Yeah, it was Machine Head.
It was Pyramid Head. Come on.
I also know
I'm glad you heard it.
I
though.
also know who Pyramid Head is.
Hey,
I actually had a friend once. I actually had a friend once who did a really, really accurate Pyramid Head cosplay. He was also jacked as shit, so he didn't even need to wear a shirt.
The bonus joke was that Radiohead has a song called Pyramid Song, so I was kind of combining the two. Like, that joke actually made more sense than the Machine Head
And also
ones.
to explain my badly singing joke, the
It
band's
was
called Amberlin.
yes.
So you saying Amber Nick, my brain immediately just starts going, like the devil's got your hands.
I was thinking it too. I don't know why, because I don't know why I know that band or
Yeah,
song.
talking about one-hit wonder.
Maybe it was in a Guitar Hero game.
I also have a podcast called We Played a Game where me and Nefarious talk about old retro games, and I get made fun of about as much.
Hey, man, if you ever need me to come on there and back you up, I got you.
I have a feeling you would join him.
Maybe. Maybe not.
I also have a feeling you two would get along, so we probably should make that happen someday.
I liked the last episode of We Played a Game I listened to. Wait, hold on. What was the last episode?
Katamari.
Oh, yeah, I did listen to the Katamari one because I thought it was interesting to hear you talk about, ultimately it ended up playing the reroll version, I think. But, just to hear a game that was covered on our show and now on your show was kind of
And
neat,
I was on Steam Machine for that, too. So that was kind of a
you
weird...
got to double dip.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird episode for me because we had just done Katamari, and then Katamari came up for We Played a Game, so I'm like, I guess I'll give it another shot. And I still did not beat that level. Nefarious got pretty far, though.
Yeah, it's like one of the next ones in my queue. I haven't gotten to it yet because the last Jim Cornette episode that I had queued up was like 4.5 hours long, and that's taken me about a week to get through with the amount of time I have to listen. So
Jesus.
Yeah. Mike...
That is too much time to hear someone grump about wrestling.
Now, my current podcast on my queue right now is Tadpog, the more recent one.
Hell yeah, shout out Tadpog, Tyler and Dave play old games. And on that note, boys, let's go ahead and get out of here, man. So we'll be back next week with the freebie game horror goodness, and then after that, Turnip Boy commits tax evasion. So until next time, everybody, take it easy.